I'm so over and underexposed at the same time. Yeah, hi. I know I've been away. I've been working. I have a full-time job now. I'm going back to school, which is interesting. And I made a new song. So I made a new song. It's called It's Okay If You Do. Let's see how I made it. Let's go. Okay, where are we? Let's go up to see how long this took to make. 14 hours and 28 minutes. That is pretty long for a song. Recently, this is a little bit of above averaging length. So, yeah, I love this song so much. So I'm going to kind of divide this into sections, you know, like section here, section there, breakdown here, section here. Because there's kind of a lot going on. It doesn't look like there is, but behind the scenes, you know, if you go here to my mixer, there's a ton of plugins that I use here. And we're going to go over them now. So, let's start out with the drums. Simple kind of indie drum beat. Now, I kind of did something interesting here, right? So since I'm playing on a guitar, I didn't want to use electronic, like sampled drums. I kind of wanted to make them sound original, but kind of keep that retro layer of like sampled, like from like a 606 or something like that. So what I did is I took say we have the kick. That's the kick, but I also added an acoustic kick to it. It's processed, but it kind of gives that like, yeah, I'll show you. It's very subtle. To be honest with you, it's very subtle, but I think it's a nice little kind of grounding point because I don't want this to be kind of like an electric kind of beat, if that makes sense. Then we have the snare. I think it's just a regular 505 snare. Yeah, with a snare layer. Pretty standard. The ride, simple. I think it's another 505 ride. Oops. 505 ride. Very simple. There's no hi-hats in this because I didn't need them because of the ride. It fills up a lot of space. Just a shaker loop and the tambourine. It's a shaker loop, tambourine loop. So with those combined, and then later in the song it progresses to that kind of double time. Simple drums, honestly. I didn't really focus on the drums that much. I mainly focused on getting the guitar right. So the song starts off with this riff, which is it's a very simple riff. It's like, and I looped that over and over again. And then we have this harmony over here. It's like this. Maybe I have the tone up. Yeah. Those two strings, and then the main chords. And they're just looped. The chords. A lot is going on here with the processing. So we have it running through tape. 2 tapes. Got 2 tape emulators on here. We have guitar stomp, which is giving it, I think, some reverb. Some reverb. Some EQ. Take out the highs. Didn't EQ the lows. Oh, I did on this one, I think. CLA 3A for some compression. Take out some of the peaks. So let's actually A-B this. Hold on, let's see. Wow. And I think my goal for this is to make it as like vintage and gritty sounding not as possible, but as gritty sounding as I want it to be. With these two underlayers here, it kind of comes together really nicely. And just with those three elements, the whole song structure is there. Like the whole like if you notice, this main chord, the harmony and the riff play out the entire song. A little variations here in the second half, but honestly, it's really just, man, those three things carry this song, I think. And the bass is pretty interesting. So what I did is that I don't have a bass guitar. So what I used Flex. It's a stock plugin in FL Studio. It's really good for like bass sounds, but I used a Juno bass or a Juno brass patch. It's very low, but I layered it with a sub bass. So all that together with the drums and everything like that, the intro starts off pretty strong. Now, originally, I was going to have vocals on this track, but I can't sing and I really couldn't find any sort of way to sing it. I have a very weird vocal range. I'm more comfortable singing low, and this song is kind of bright and happy, and I didn't really want to sing like... I left it alone. I like the way it sounds without vocals, but maybe later down the line I'll get someone to put some vocals on. I have lyrics for it, but it's okay without vocals, honestly. It's a full track. It's a dynamic track. Yeah, it's just, I like it. So coming into the first actual breakdown of the break, there's only one break in this song. It's just two more things added. We have this harmony layer, which is kind of soft pan to the left with some clean verb, a little bit of distortion. That's doing a lot. Looks like he's just bringing up the volume. And some EQ. And it's a harsh curve, but it sounds good. And we have this atmosphere layer. I have two EQs on there just to get, it was so like, listen to this, listen. It's so peaky. It's so peaky. It's just gross. I don't like it. And this is with the EQ curves. That's fucking crazy, by the way. The peaks are still there, but they don't pop out of the mix as much. Because look, it's a guitar. When you're miking a guitar, you're putting it into an interface, running it through an amp. There's going to be resonances, and you don't want to take them all down. You just want them to clean up your mix a little bit. Stereo enhancer a little bit to the right to counteract the little soft hard pan. Give it a unique position. And ambient soup. That's the preset. So another thing I did was I made these backing chords. Kind of in the background of the mini break. It's just me playing the chords of the song with my fingers and only doing the first three strings. So actually, fun fact, the chord progression of the song was going to be different. I originally had this idea. I had something like that. But then I found that the 3-chord progression, which goes from like the E to the G to the C. I'm not good with music theory. I just know it's an E to a G to some type of C. I don't know what C this is. I know what I did here is I added the 9th. So it kind of adds that kind of high frequency kind of harmony, but I have no clue what this C is. I don't even know if it is a C, because I know this is a C major 7. This is a C major. So I don't know what kind of C that is. It just sounded good and I used it. Later in the song, I added the 9th in there. in another harmony. So the final drop, not the final drop, but the final kind of second part of the song, I added these 2 chord adds here. Let me play them for you. And it was literally just me going, I think it was, yeah. Over and over again on a loop. It sounds good. I like it. But if I added because I thought about doubling these layers, it got kind of hectic. So what I did was I took two of the identical audio files and I hard panned them left and right. And on each one, I have the same processing as the chords. So what I did this is what I found. If you hard pan something to either direction, go into your Fruity Stereo Enhancer and offset that pan by turning it into the opposite direction, you get kind of a distant mono sound if you have 2 audio sources. Am I making sense? Probably not. So it's back in the stereo field. So I kind of like that sort of, if I turn them off, they're just 2 mono audio files playing in either ear. So it pushes it back farther. And that gives more depth to the chords, because it was getting kind of hectic here, getting too full. And I needed something to kind of fill that back end of the stereo field. And I think that did it perfectly. I think that did it perfectly. And it adds good flavor to the song here. This is the first part without it. It's subtle, but it works, and I'm happy with it. I think the main thing about this song is that a lot of little things came together to make something bigger, right? Because, you have these little elements here, the riff, the little mini-ass riff here. Also, this variation that I did. And then at the end, fun fact, this riff right here, that's hard for me to play, right? Because, here, where's my pick? It goes from here Are you? Well, at the time, it was hard for me to play. You get the point. So what I did is I halved. What's half of 198? Like 99? I don't know. But what I did is I halved the BPM in another project and played it at that tempo. So I did. And I sped it up. That's why this sounds so weird. It sounds kind of like fucked, in lack of a better word. I recorded it in halftime. But in the mix, it doesn't sound that bad. It sounds pretty good. And like I said, that's the biggest thing, right? This song is not very complicated, but that wasn't my goal. My goal was to make something that was simple, pushed me a little bit in terms of, learning a whole new instrument. I just kind of, I don't know. I really like this song. I think this is more of a creative direction that I'm willing to go in, because I obviously want to learn more guitar. I want to practice, making, and honestly, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. For my first ever indie song, or kind of rock, not even rock, soft rock song, I don't think it's that bad. I think I gave it a good shot. Anything else that's kind of interesting here? Oh yeah, there's this little thing I did here. I kind of made this second part repeat. Just to keep that little constant, and then it ends with everything there. Honestly, I think that's it, to be honest. I think that's really all I did with this song. Also, sorry if my camera is glitching out. I don't know what's going on with that. That should be fixed pretty soon. Well, yeah, that was it. It's Okay If You Do is out now on all platforms. Give it a stream, give it a listen. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for sticking by me. If you're watching this video, you're a real one. I guess I'll see you next time in 8 months.